Alrighty, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikkei related video at least. We're doing the monthly, revenue charts check, right? What we usually do every at the beginning of every month. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm seeing a big drop for the game that we're all here for. Actually, for a lot of the games. But obviously we know why we didn't make this much. I mean, we'll get into it. Make sure you guys subscribe and like and all that, like all that stuff. So let's start off with Honkai and Genshin, right? I mean, they didn't really have that much of a drop. I mean, Honkai did. They went from 58 million in June to 40 million in July. And I believe in July they had Blade, and before Blade was who? Luocha, right? And those were those two are actually best paired up together. So I don't really know how it went less. I guess the month before was Jin Yuan and Silverwolf for Honkai Star Rail, so that makes a lot more sense. Why that made more, I think. But 40 million, I mean, it's still quite big, right? Because remember, I never say them in these videos, right? But when you see the numbers on these charts, these are only from in-game App Store purchases, right? So games like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin, which also have a PC port and are on PlayStation, and if people are buying the currency on PC and PlayStation, are not actually getting shown here on Sensor Tower. These are only from the App Store. So literally for 40 million on just mobile alone is quite insane. And same as 31 from Genshin on mobile alone is quite insane. Fate Grand Order is having their anniversary, so they made 24. Pretty good. Uma Museum is at what? 21 million from 20. So they didn't drop that much. They either dropped a million, gained a million, dropped a million, Nikkei though. Nikkei went from 23 to 50 million on mobile. Now this is easily their lowest month, right? This is by far the lowest they've made. Now I would say Nikkei probably still made over 20 million in total, guaranteed. Because again, Nikkei has the PC port. This is not showing PC port purchases, right? But I would say guaranteed Nikkei made over 20 million this month, but they did drop below 15. Now, I don't know how they're going to do this upcoming month, but they should do well because they have Helm and Anise dropping at the beginning of the month. So they should do well, right? If next revenue chart Nikkei drops lower than this, then I don't understand. 50 million right now is so understandable because literally the banners were Masked and Nero. Not only was it Masked and Nero, but they had already confirmed that not Helm and Anise, but they've confirmed that there was another major big event coming after those two specifically, or at least after Mask, and literally that there were two more limiteds coming into the game. So Nero was a character who was good, but you literally have to own Rapunzel, literally one other character in the game, at that being a pilgrim, which is also somewhat hard to obtain. Yes, I know Nero works with Pepper. She does work with Mary if Mary's with Privity, and she also does work with Ida Ocean if she's also with Privity, but Nero's only really consistent with Rapunzel. So literally what people's mindset is that they're not summoning for Nero if they don't have Rapunzel, and even if they did, they still wouldn't summon for Nero, because then it becomes, are you using Nero and Rapunzel over Blanc and Noir? Most likely not. Master the character who was pretty decent as well, but obviously again, when you before they dropped Master Banner, they literally said right after Master's Banner we're going to have the biggest event for summer, basically, literally, because this one has a mini game, co-op, all this extra stuff, right? They said it's going to be the biggest summer event yet with two more limiteds, right? So who's really going to summon for Master when they say something like that? And not only that, they've already hinted that Anise, and not even that they hinted, it was already leaked that it was Masked and, not Masked, my bad, Helm and Anise. It was already leaked. So it only makes sense, right? But literally, if they make less this month than 50 million with those two, then that will be something crazy, right? But 50 million this month is understandable. The skins we also had were quite trash. I mean, I don't want to say they were trash, but they definitely weren't people were buying it. Freema, who in God's name uses Freema, right? Nobody's gonna buy Freema skin if they I would like to think most people only buy skins if they're just genuinely a whale or if they use the character. Freema's one of the most useless characters in this game. I mean, I don't want to say she's useless, but she's definitely a character you're not picking up and using every time. You're barely using her. The most you're ever going to use her is if you need an extra character for your 3v3 PvP teams, or if you just need it for tower. But besides that, you're not picking up Freema and putting her on your team for any special, progression, for regular PvP, for bosses, special interception, union raids, solo raids. You're not picking up Freema and using her. So there's no way people are going to buy a skin for Freema, the character they're never going to use, unless you literally are just trying to collect every skin in the game, which that's a different story. So yeah, 15 million, very, very bad. Now I don't, whoa, let me stop. Let me not say that's very, very bad. That's criminal what I just said. It's not even close to very, very bad. It's not even close, right? Because how could it be bad, right? Think about it. How could it be bad if most games average 1 million or less, right? 2 million, right? 15 million is not bad, but for Nikkei standards, that's low, right? That's the lowest, right? Blue Archive made a massive jump under JP from 5 million to 14 million, right? Big jump. Summoner's War is still at their 10 million range. Same as this Miku game. I don't even know they had that. Colorful Stages made 10 million as well. Miku's a popular ass character, so that makes sense as well. Grand Order, Fake Grand Order Global made 9 million. Pretty nice. But let me see what games are... Okay. So I don't see Grimlight here. At that point, I can assume they gave up or they just made no money that they didn't even hit the charts. Heigen, it's so funny because Heigen, when it first came out, it was heavily hyped up. Heavenly. And now it's making no money. Do they have the Tower of God game here? They don't. Damn, that would have been nice to see how much they made. But yeah, no, Heigen. Counterside Global only made 290. I hope Counterside doesn't shut down. Counterside is actually a pretty nice game, and I pray it doesn't shut down eventually. But Heigen is very, very funny to me all the time. What other games are... Punishing Grey Raven is okay, picking up a bit. 400k, not bad. Outer Planes is making 700k, which is not bad. Outer Planes is like a 3D version of Epic 7, so I don't expect a game like that to really fail, because Epic 7 does quite well too. Speaking of Epic 7, they made 4 million from 3 million, so there's that. Brown Dust 2, which was a new game as well, made 4 million. 4 million, so that's not that bad. Yeah, I would say, like, for your gacha game, the average gacha game would probably be making 1 million to 2 million a month. And then, like, over average would be like 4 to like 8 million, and then like just beyond is just 10 million plus, right? And then if you're seeing 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, obviously your game is like, it's not gonna shut down. Don't have to worry. Your game is doing just fine, right? But I would say obviously anything 10 million or above is quite insane for a mobile gacha game. And remember, a lot of these games that do have 10 million up do have PC ports, right? I think Summoner Wars is on Steam. Fake Grand Order is not. This Miku game, I'm not sure. Blue Archive, I'm not sure. But Genshin, Honkai, Nikkei, and Summoner Wars, I believe, are all PC. Like, they all have PC ports. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think for sure. I do think this is a bit, I don't think we have to worry about Nikkei, quote unquote, falling off, right? I mean, if 50 million, which is clearly their worst month ever, which is understandable with what they've had in July. Wait, was Helm and not Helm? Was Marion and Neon out during July too? Because if that's the case, that Neon definitely was, right? Because that makes so much sense. Neon was hot garbage though, right? So like, it really does make sense, right? It really does make sense when you like. It really does make sense. But you guys let me know what you think. If your favorite game is here, I'm just scrolling. Oh, Snowbreak. That's a new game that made 10 million. Whoa, my bad. 1 million. I can't see. It made 1 million on their first month. Pretty good. But yeah, let me scroll through this. If you see a game that you want to see and I didn't cover it, go ahead and pause the video. But I do think this is pretty nice, right? I do think this is pretty nice. See games going up. I see a lot more greens than, or I want to say it's kind of tied. Or there might be a bit more reds than greens, but it is summertime too. So if there is a bit more red than green, that's a bit iffy, because summer is peak. Like, that's peak mobile gacha gaming. But you guys let me know what you think for sure, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out later. Peace.